back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika Foley, and look, welcome back.
Thank you.
This is kind of a miracle to have you in within a week. Yeah, we just saw you, but again, welcome back because this is actually, I think, a really important show. I am a hardcore proponent about folks getting out there and voting. Doesn't matter when you vote or what you're voting for, but do vote. So there is a new tax proposition that's on the ballot, which is actually slated for Saturday, March. What is that date for?
20th.
May. I'm sorry.
March 20th.
March 20th. Thank you. I'm sorry. It's coming up. However, there's early voting going on right now, is what I meant to say. So let's talk about that new tax proposition, because I'm going to tell you, when folks hear new tax, they're still yelling no new taxes. So tell me about this tax.
So the school board passed a tax proposition for a 0.45% sales tax that would be dedicated to salaries and benefits for school board employees.
Okay, now that actually was introduced sometime in 2019, December of 2019. However, it was placed on the ballot back in August of 2020, and then it was delayed.
Right.
And so here we are again.
Correct.
And I know part of that reason it was delayed is the language.
Right. The language was one of the issues, and the other issue, of course, was at that time COVID and the ramifications of the pandemic just made it an impossible endeavor to consider. So once things kind of levied out and we saw how we were coming out of COVID and we knew kind of where we were headed, the board elected to go back with a proposition, and again, it's in support of school employees.
Okay, now let's talk about the comparison numbers. Of course, we're surrounded by several other school board systems, and that is New Iberia, which is Iberia Parish, Assumption, Lafourche, and Terrebonne. How do we compare to those areas?
So that's part of the reasoning for this board to commit itself to offering a tax proposition to voters. When we go to recruit teachers, or when we're trying to retain teachers to remain in St. Mary, they look to other parishes as a source of comparison. We are about $2,900 less annually than Terrebonne. Terrebonne does also give some bonuses because they did pass their own tax, in favor of raises, salary increases for their employees. And then Iberia Parish, we're about $3,500 less than them. Those are a couple of our main competitors, simply because obviously Highway 90, it's very easy for someone living in St. Mary to travel to either Iberia or Terrebonne to work for their school system. Additionally, St. Martin Parish is about $5,600 more than St. Mary. So someone living in Morgan City could go teach at Stevensville Elementary and make almost $6,000 more a year.
Do you find that's what's happening? Because I know that we are losing student population as well as our teachers. Do you think that's what's happening?
There's a combination of things that are going on. One is that fewer and fewer undergraduates are choosing education as a major, choosing teaching as a career. When you have fewer graduates in the Department of Education, then you have school systems who are all vying for the same limited number of candidates. And unfortunately for us, salary is one of those things that stands out for them. So if, even people who are from St. Mary choose to go elsewhere because frankly, they can make more to support their families.
Right. How do we compare statewide exactly? As far as, teacher pay, that pretty much, statewide. What's the average statewide versus what teachers are being paid locally?
The average statewide is about $51,500. That is average teacher salary for 2019-20. St. Mary Parish is 46th in the state. We are below the state average, and that is $48,700.
Okay. And when someone thinks about those numbers, someone might say, well, that's not too bad, right?
Possibly.
Okay. I got to play,
I agree.
Uh-huh.
And you're right. There are many people who make a lot less or, a lot more than that. I think the issue for us to decide is what type of education system we want to support and sustain. And the education system is totally reliant on who's in the classroom and how qualified they are.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for answering that.
You're
We'll come
welcome.
back. We have one more segment to talk to Superintendent Dr. Teresa Bagwell. Come on back to the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I am your host, Danika Foley. With me, we have Dr. Teresa Bagwell, who's the Superintendent of St. Mary Parish Public Schools. Now, we're talking about this new tax proposal that is on the ballot right now. Early voting started March 6th. It will continue until Saturday, March 13th, and you can actually go on Election Day on the 20th. We will also have commentary from an opponent of this tax as well, but we're talking about what the tax can do, what it's meant for. So my question to you is really, and I recall maybe a year or two ago, teachers did receive a pay raise, but I believe it came from the state. When was the last time teachers received a pay raise from St. Mary Parish?
The last time that there was any sort of local revenue for a teacher pay raise in St. Mary Parish was 1988. That was the last time any type of tax proposition dedicated to the salaries of school board employees was passed by voters. So it's been since 1988. Since then, every raise, salary increase that has been given to the educators of St. Mary has come from the state, from a governor's initiative to raise teacher pay. That is a big issue right now, to raise to the southern regional average. A raise that comes from the state level does not change or alter our stature among competitors of other parishes. So if the state were to give a $1,000 pay raise or a $500 pay raise, you still would rank 46 in the state in average teacher pay.
Right. And now, of course, currently the sales tax is at 4%, and with the increase, it would take it to 4.45.
Correct. If the proposition were to be approved by voters, it would bring the sales tax to 4.45%, with the exception of Morgan City that does have a 0.3, which would bring it to 4.75 until 2023, when that measure actually exits the rolls. That would still keep us at least a half a percentage point below Terrebonne Parish. Terrebonne's actually at 5.5%, so a full percentage point below Terrebonne. But most parishes around the area are at 5%. So we would still have that competitive edge when it came to courting businesses to say we were the lowest in the region.
Now let's speak on something. You mentioned competitive. You talked about earlier, the loss of students and loss of, I mentioned, I believe, teachers as well. So, what about recruitment? Yeah, we may be very attractive to businesses, but what about teachers coming in? Losing teachers, do you have teachers to replace those teachers?
Actually, the recruitment of teachers is one of the reasons that we called for the proposition. When we go to recruit teachers at our local universities, one thing that has happened over the last 10 years, but especially in the last 5, is you've seen very, very limited number of undergraduates choosing education as a career. Our HR director went to one of our state universities. There were 8 total graduates in education, and there were over 50 districts vying for 8 graduates. And suffice it to say, we do not put our starting pay as a placard on our table because we are not anywhere near competitive in that area. Recently, I'll just give you an example. We had 3 teachers who resigned. They resigned over the course of about a week, and they resigned as of that day. We have 0 applicants to fill those positions. So if a teacher resigns tomorrow, I do not have anyone that I can call to interview who's recently graduated from college or looking to transfer here from another district.
Also, the teachers here are back in the classroom, whereas other locations, neighboring parishes, even other states, their teachers have not gone back into the classroom.
That's absolutely correct. I cannot say enough about our teachers. We have been in face-to-face class since September 28th. Very few districts in the nation have been back that long in face-to-face. In our surrounding area, most of the districts kept the hybrid schedule for grades 6 through 12 through January, and some of them, like St. Landry, for example, I saw on the news, their 6th and 7th graders just returned last Monday.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for giving us your time yet again, and make sure to stay tuned. We have much more to come right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika Foley. With me, we have St. Mary Parish President David Hanagriff. Now, I'm sitting over here very calm and quiet, but I'm so excited to get this going because if you were here for the first half of the show, we were talking about the new tax that's on the election ballot. We're right now during an early election cycle, so if you like to vote early, you can do so. That is it started March 6th and it will end on March 13th. However, general election will be on March 20th. I hope that after talking and listening to the information, you'll be able to better understand and pick a side if you're for or against that new tax. Now, of course, we know that you are a vocal opponent of this new tax. First of all, I'll just give you the opportunity to tell me what is the reason, just that one little reason why you say no new taxes.
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to come on and inform people in St. Mary Parish about what's going on. The first and most important part right now, of course, is clearly that right now, in our current situation, just coming out of this COVID pandemic, the economy shut down basically, not only in this parish, in the state, and in the country, and across the world. And the fact that our economy is still struggling, primarily because of the oil field, now more than ever is not the right time to raise any kind of taxes. From millages to sales tax to anything, now is not the time. Cannot raise taxes right now during this environment, period. That's the primary.
And what would you say, because I've learned a little bit more about this tax and I've learned more about the different sides, right? Of course, you have folks who are in favor and those who are not. The last time that teachers received a pay raise, and I say teachers, but of course this would be school board employees, meaning our paraprofessionals, everyone who is employed by the school board. The last time they received a raise based on our local taxes was 1988.
Yes. 1988, and what's funny, that's the year I graduated, okay?
Oh, that was a long time.
A long time ago, yeah, a long time ago. 1988, okay, and again, you're right, it's for support staff, teachers, and central office employees, the whole gambit,
yes.
Maintenance, you name it. What I say to that, the fact that the teachers and that the staff has not gotten a local raise since 1988, I'd say this, it's a damn shame, okay? And it's a damn shame because they should have gotten several raises before then. This has nothing to do with teachers. The teachers and support staff do an excellent job in St. Mary Parish. I mentioned and alluded earlier that my wife's a teacher, and I know how hard she works and how devoted she is and her colleagues are. This has nothing to do with that. It goes with the simple thing is that by now they should have. The school board, this is more directed to the school board, no offense to the school board, but it's your budget, it's your responsibility, it's your employees. I'm the parish president, I have a budget, I have parish employees, and I haven't given a cost of living raise for my parish employees in 5 years. And what my parish employees make, who do a great job compared to what the school board, and this is not putting against each other, is not even comparable. So I understand it, and I get it. But the problem with it is this is on the school board. By now, the school board should have found ways to give those teachers a raises since 1988. That is a shame. You're absolutely right.
Now, question for you. Now, for what I understand, they have a clean budget, a clean audit. So if they say they don't have it, is it maybe they're not finding it, mishandling of funds? Well, I'm not going to say that.
Right.
I don't want no problems. But do you think it's not being appropriated?
Yeah, and again, look, I do not want people to criticize me and talk about me and my budget. I'm not here necessarily to pick on them and saying that they're not doing it the right way, the wrong way. They're the largest employer in the parish, so it's very difficult. I get it. I'm not picking on them from that aspect, but they have to do a better job. They have to be creative. They have to consolidate. They have to cut where cuts are needed, and they have to figure out a way to give teachers the raise they need. without raising taxes.
Okay, another point here. If they raise it, it'll raise by, I think, 42 cents, and will still considerably be rather low compared to our neighboring parishes like Iberia, Terrebonne, Lafourche. It'll raise our taxes from 4% to 4.5%.
Well, currently right now we're at 8.45, and they're looking for an increase of 0.45. Okay, so that would actually increase it in a majority of the parish to 8.9. It would also increase it because Morgan City is higher because you're
Wait, real quick, just so I know,
Yes.
because that's local and state that you're
local
talking
and
about.
state,
Okay,
correct.
okay,
Local
okay.
and state.
Yeah.
We are currently at 8.45, and that would increase it to another 0.45%, which would bring us to 8.9. And in Morgan City, because you're already elevated higher because you have a tax on there for roads, Morgan City would be at 9.2, the 9.2 threshold. You alluded to the fact that, yes, we are lower than the other surrounding parishes. You're absolutely right, and we have to be lower. Our problem right now in St. Mary Parish is that, of course, we have restrictions. There's only so much we can do compared to the Lafayettes and Terrebonnes of the world and Baton Rouge of the world. And we can't control. I cannot force a company to come to St. Mary Parish. The only thing I can do is give them whatever incentives we have available to offer. We can't control the infrastructure, which is what the parish has been doing, giving monies to the cities and everyone else. And we can't control taxes, ladies and gentlemen. You can control the taxes. We have to be lower than everybody else to incentivize businesses to come to St. Mary Parish.
All right, I love it. And we got one more segment of this, so please come on back. Hopefully this will help you make an informed decision on which side of this issue you stand. So come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to The Voice of the Coast. I'm going to talk really, really fast because I want to get you to get all this information out. Again, we have our Parish President of St. Mary Parish, that is David Hanagriff. Now, I see the passion in you regarding this, and that's how I feel about people voting. So I'm hoping folks will get out to vote. But I'm wondering if some of this passion is because this may or could have the propensity to reflect on you as a leader, a parish leader, being that you're the parish president of the entire parish.
Well, to a certain degree, you're absolutely right. No matter what, at the end of the day, when you talk about economy, even though I don't have control over the cities, the school board, the sheriff, at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. And the problem right now, and it's frustrating because people are looking towards me through economic developer and everybody else to try to attract and bring businesses to this parish. And when we raise taxes like this, and when the people raise taxes like this, you're handcuffing me. You're basically taking a few of the tools and only tools that I have as parish president, and essentially you're handcuffing me by raising taxes right now when we're trying to attract business to this parish.
Yeah.
And it does get frustrating at times.
Now the proposal is 4.45 on the local level, which is parish level.
Yes.
Did you ever talk to the school board and say, let's compromise? I mean, it's kind of like a marriage, right?
Well, originally when this first came out, unfortunately the way the school board did it, they didn't talk to me. They didn't talk to Senator Allan and to other individuals throughout the parish to say, hey, look, this is what we're doing, other than just kind of letting us know that we didn't sit down and talk about it. And to be honest with you, I did reach out. Myself, Senator Allan, some other individuals, business leaders in the parish, said, well, let's find a happy medium. Let's find something where we can work with, something where I can go and support. And I threw out, instead of 0.45, 2.0 or 2.5, and you come up with the rest. Let's find something in the medium to where you still leave some capacity, and we're not having such a burden on there. We're not putting Morgan City above 9%, and that went to deaf ears. So that's upsetting. Also, the fact that we should find somewhere in the middle, and we should find something that I can support and the business leaders, because look, SMIG and the businesses throughout St. Mary Parish, they want to support this. They support teachers. They do every day. My business and every other business in the parish support our local schools, all teachers, and so many other charities in the parish. We want to support our teachers, but we don't want to be stronghold by the school board shoving taxes on an off election to get it passed, and I just don't think it's right.
I want to bring that up in just a moment, but you mentioned business owners, but I mean, do you think that this is also Do you think about the homeowners? I mean, you know.
No, absolutely. The homeowners too.
Okay.
And again, you know, I own a business, and I'm speaking on behalf of them. But of course, the homeowners, people that are frustrated throughout St. Mary Parish, you know, overall. You know, it's just frustrating, you know, when you talk about more taxes and taxes now. But people want to pay their fair share.
And here's my last question for you. Do you think that because it's kind of an off election, it's likely to be a low turnout?
It is going to be a low turnout, and I hate to say that that's by design. That's why people in St. Mary Parish need to come out and vote. You know, just because it's an off election, it's the only thing on the ballot. For the most part, people need to come out and vote.
Now I'm going to give you about 30 seconds if you'd like to, you know, address the public.
Absolutely. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to reiterate this, okay? And the teachers out there, you're doing a fantastic job. This has nothing to do with you. And look, I am in a tough spot. I get it. You know, coming out against a proposal that's going to give raises to teachers, I must be stupid, right? I must be crazy. I'm not. I'm passionate for St. Mary Parish, and I'm asking the citizens, not now. Let's go back to the drawing table, and we'll come up with something that's to help our teachers.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Talk to you guys soon.